Hey everybody, welcome to Understanding Web with IsNowGlobal. Today we're going to be going over domains. We're going to be going over what they are, how to get the most out of them, um, what they are essentially here to give you I'm really here to give you the breakdown of what domains are and how to use them properly. Um, Let me see here. I think we're having some connection issues. No, I think we're good. Okay. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Today we're just going to be going over domains and a little bit of that. I'm going to turn off this background because I think it's actually causing a lot of issues. So let's go ahead and switch to things over here. Um, and yeah, so this is our new intro. Let me know what you guys think. It's just telling us that we're going to be learning web design and web development. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. And as you know, today's live stream is brought to you by IsNowGlobal. We are a web design, web development, and web hosting company. We're here to build your vision. We're here to do whatever we can to give your best to you. So let's see here. And if you're looking for where to get the best or where to get great web design, go ahead over to IsNowGlobal to build your vision today. And then and again, like just to give you a quick example of what we do, we start with a vision. We plan to execute your vision. We get to work on executing your vision, and when we launch your vision, that's what we do over here at IsNowGlobal. And yeah, and I'm just gonna get right into it actually. So today we're gonna get right into. We're not gonna spend too much time playing around with this or that. Um, if anything's going on in the video, let me know. But as of right now, for going forward, there's gonna be all text, so we shouldn't be too worried about anything else here. Sorry about that. Go back to this. Um, okay. CPU seems to be stabilizing a little bit better. So let's get started. So today, what we're doing today is today we're learning about domains, why they're important, what they are, how to get the most out of them, uh, whether or not you need multiple domains. So let's go ahead and get started. As you can see today, we're IsNowGlobal Web Solutions. If you can follow, you can go to our website at isnowglobal.com. You can follow me, IsNowGlobal Chuck on Twitter. We also now have a Twitch and YouTube, both of which I believe will be on our links pages as soon as we're done here. But you can follow them at twitch.tv/isnowglobal, and I believe the YouTube channel is linked in my previous tweet. So we're just gonna get started today. I believe it's the right button. Let's see here. So, that's a problem. Let me see here. I think my slides might be out of order. So let's see here. Let me head over to the settings. Yeah, so sorry. This is my first time playing around with the new backgrounds and everything. So I'm realistically just gonna be bear with me as I kind of make my as I kind of power my way through this. So let's see where are my slides and why are they not in order? Let's see here. So I'm just gonna add them directly. Add files. Uh, so yeah, while I'm doing this, like I said, domains are very important. You can realistically only have one domain and get a lot of work done with that one domain. You don't necessarily have to worry about whether you need like 10 domains or 5 domains, or you only need one. Like realistically, you only need one. Because it should be your brand. Like you should get a domain that accurately reflects your brand, a domain that accurately reflects what you will be like, what your audience is getting into. So like mine is non-global. It's just my name of my company. I try to keep a lot of our uh, similar applications and things like that under the same domain. If you sign up for our newsletter, which I think you got an email recently, that's in the subdomain, and we're gonna get into that while I try to figure out. Okay, there we go. So they are in order this way. So I'm gonna put them in order this way. Gonna open them all up, and I'm gonna. Oh, one of these is a folder. There we go. Minus that. Okay. All right, we're back. Okay. So let's get back into this. So domains, why they're important and how to get the most out of them. Why are domains important? Let's kind of break that down. What are they? domains are a way for computers to find for a computer or your computer to find the IP of the website you want. If you are a client looking, if you're a customer looking for someone's website, instead of having to constantly remember what the IP address of the website is, you can just use a domain. Like every website has an IP address attached to it. If your web hosting is good enough, you will normally not have to worry about ever touching the IP. Um, but the domain essentially masks your IP, so you don't have to have your server, your like physical server, be exposed to the world. It's kind of a great way for you to kind of control and understand essentially like how um, it's a really great way to understand how essentially domains are, or how they reach your audience pretty well. Uh, Again, the majority of the most important thing is that domains are definitely a way for people to find your content and your website without the need of an IP. It's your online. Think of it as your online business address, and you think of it as your digital asset. It's very very important that you treat your domain as like you would any other asset that you have, whether it be your stock, whether it be your like all your important things, all your important documents. Think of your domain as one of the most important documents. If you're a business owner, if you're a content creator, your domain is everything, and you always want to make sure that your domain is reflecting is a good reflection of what your brand is. You don't necessarily want to use a dot Shopify or dot Squarespace or dot anything, because you kind of want to keep your branding. You don't want to give your branding away to Shopify or to you don't want to give your branding away to anybody realistically here. Um, and realistically, it's the best part about it is that if you treat it like it's supposed to treat it, it is going to pay out in like pretty in not so obvious ways. And I'll explain more as we go along. But again, just to kind of break it down again, a domain is just a way for people to find your IP, find your website, find your server's IP that's hosting your website. It's a way for people to find that without having to go you giving them a what like 12, 10 to 12 digit number to use that. So um let's gonna move on here. So why they're important? Without it, your audience won't be able to find you. Like that's just it. Like without a domain, your audience can't find you. They won't know. Like SEO is great. Like there won't be any SEO. There's no way for people to Google your website and it'll pop up on Google. Like right now, if you Google IsNowGlobal, I think we're number one. And it's just how you use your domain and how you kind of use your domain to gain an audience per se. Um, so that's reason why domains are important. Um, so let's kind of keep going forward here. I'm gonna close on this page here, since we don't necessarily need all that. Okay, man, if y'all knew how much RAM Chrome takes up with just one tab, um, I'm like this close to just tossing my script and actually just getting right back to talking through this myself. And you know what? I will. I'm throwing the script. I'm just gonna drop the script. We're going rogue on this one. But yeah, back to domains, why they're important. Um, Without domains, your audience won't be able to find you, and without remembering a random sequence of numbers, the proper domain can do more for your business or your brand than you could ever think. Like if your domain, let's say for example, let's use Four Stackers Only. FourStackersOnly.com is one of our one of our big clients out there. Um, their domain is Four Stackers Only. The domain for like to reach the forum is forum.fourstackersonly.com, and it's important because we want to keep those people on the same level. You want to you in certain cases you don't want to segment your audience, and in this case, when you're talking about domains, you don't want to do that. When you want to segment your audience, that's when you go as far as to create another domain, and you're like, okay, I want this audience to go to this domain. I want this audience to go to this domain, and depending on how you're tracking and doing analytics, you'll be able to see which domain performs better or worse. Bro, why don't you fuck with Chrome? I do fuck with Chrome. I'm running this off a MacBook Pro from 2013. So let me just break this down. Like I'm running this entire streaming platform, like just entire streaming thing. Like I'm the all the branding, all the different like slides are on my computer. I'm streaming to my server, and then that's streaming to Twitter and to YouTube and to Twitch and to Periscope. But Chrome kills the MacBook Pro. Kills it. Like you can probably tell right now the stream is going in and out. Um, so that's kind of why. So me taking out Chrome was the way of me to fix that. And I literally have nothing running, and I'm still using a lot. Let me go ahead and just quit Chrome altogether and see if that helps. Oh wow, dropped 20% CPU. Let's not get into like nerd stuff about my terrible setup. I'm actually going to be building a new desktop soon, so we won't have to worry about this in the future. Um, but for right now, please bear with me. Don't leave. We are still live. We're doing the best I can to keep this going. But let's move on to the next part. So how do domains? Let's go into how domains work. Domains propagate in like 4 to 5 different steps when they're on the internet. It starts with you, the user, and you, the user, requesting a site versus and you request a site from the internet. The internet goes to my servers. My servers would then ask, or I guess in this case, it goes both to my servers and it goes to the name provider. And me and IsNowGlobal and the name command. Yes, I will be posting this later, and I'll be sending this out as an email. If you sign up for the email list, it's on my Twitter account currently. Under go to my last tweet, and underneath that tweet where I'm like this live stream actually located, I'm gonna put a link to all these slides, and I'm gonna have you be able to download it. But essentially, how domains work is there's a user, there's the internet, there's the hosting provider, aka me, there's the name server, in which case is like Google, Namecheap. If you use Growthopedia, they do names to support Black businesses. Go support Growthopedia. They sell domains. And it ultimately once IsNowGlobal and the domain name provider is communicating, we are able to figure out, one, this is a secure connection, and two, this is the right person, this is the right domain we're looking for. Then we provide you your content. And to kind of break that down a little bit more, let's run through an example real quick. Let's say you, the user, wants to buy a new mask, a new 4Stackers Only mask from the 4Stackers Only stack store. What you would essentially do is, you would say, I want to buy a new mask from 4stackersonly.com, and I want to go, or 4Stackers for the stack store. You would type in the stack store into your browser. The browser would then ask me, what's the IP address for what I'm trying to get to this domain, stack store. What is the address for what's the physical IP address for this? And then I communicate with the main servers, and they will provide me back like, oh, here's the IP address for the stack store, and then I will then take you, the user, to the stack store, and then you'll be able to get your buy your mask there. So realistically, the way, just kind of break it down a little bit quicker, it's just like you want to buy a mask, you request the domain, the stack store. The internet would then go to my server and ask me, hey, how do I find the stack store? My servers would then talk to the name provider, whoever you use, whether it's Google Domains, Namecheap, Growthopedia, anybody like that, and then we'll find out where you're hosted, and then we'll return that content to the user. And that's specifically kind of how domains work. It might seem like it's a lot more. We can break it down a lot more and go down into the deeper depths, but that at a pretty kind of high level, that's kind of how it works. So let's go forward. So what can you do with domains? Like, what can you, now you have a domain, and you're sitting around, you're like, oh, what can I do with this? Well, here's one thing. You can do a mail sign. You can attach your domain to an email list. You don't even need a full website. You just need, if you just want to have an email list, and you want to be able to kind of, reach your audience. A great way to do that is to use your domain in conjunction with MailChimp. It'd be another great way is to use your domain in conjunction with, like, you can have your domain just reroute to your Twitter. You can just be like, okay, myname.com reroutes to my Twitter or my Facebook or my LinkedIn, or like, really anything. Like, your domain is yours. You can do whatever you want with it. And realistically, it's what you use your domain for is limited only by your imagination. Let's say that. So like again, just to reiterate, like you can do MailChimp, you can do ConvertKit, you can do any email list, because they all support domains as a means of communication. Another cool thing you can do with domains that most people don't kind of take advantage of, what some companies do, excuse me, is affiliate links, like pretty affiliate links. You can give let's say like you sell batteries. Shout out to Elijah out there selling batteries. Go pick up your iconic power batteries. Um, like imagine it. Like, let's say he wants to give another person on the internet a affiliate link so he can track how many sales are coming through that person. What he can do is he can just use any one of those plugins that will give you a random character at the end of your domain, like just a random page, and that'll be how you track them. Or you can give him a subdomain where it could be like your name dot iconicpower.com, and then that's like a branded image, a branded IP for you, like intellectual property, where it's like this person that I'm basically gonna have sell my product on my behalf will then have a domain that links back to my domain. You don't have to go use Bitly or any of these other tools. You could, if you have a domain, you have everything you need ready to go. Another thing you can do is you can you can buy a domain if you feel like it's going to be famous one day. If you feel like it's going to be big one day, um, you can buy a domain that way, and you can realistically uh, buy like a domain. Like let's say you happen to have Google1.com. Now, while that might not seem like a great domain to have, Google wants to own every single Google domain, and so they're gonna buy. You can go ahead and keep the domain for as long as you think Google's gonna want to buy it. And then there's a bunch of different ways for you to sell domains online. There's Enom, there's like a few GoDaddy websites. I wouldn't suggest you use that for your domain hosting. I would use that to sell the domains because they offer more of a transactional approach to keeping domains. And if you want to learn more about buying and selling domains, reach out to at EST Visual on Twitter. He's pretty great about. He's got a whole book about how to really sell domains and what you can do with them, and what you can do to make profit on them. I'm here to show you how to capitalize on them with your brand versus having to look into selling them. And another thing you can do is you can just have like, depending on who your hosting provider is. I know we offer it. You can have custom email, like your email at your name at your website.com would be your email, or your name at your brand.com would be your email. And we offer those things as well. Um, so there's a bunch of different things, and there's so many more things you can do, but these are the top four I would say that are prevalent, and I would say that you can probably get a lot of use out of. Um, Again, I'm sorry if the stream keeps cutting in and out. I will fix this by next week, hopefully. But let's continue on. So, what can you do with domains? Like I said earlier, like I said again, you can do your websites and e-commerce if you would like. If you like your domain hosted like with a WordPress, or if you have a few domains that you don't know what you're doing with them and not really sure what you're gonna do with them, reach out. We offer a pretty full service plan for your domain if you decide to want to do more things with them. Um, there's definitely also the email list and landing page that we just spoke about earlier, where you can attach your MailChimp to it. Um, there's also social media rerouting with analytics that allows you to reroute people to your social media and then also track them and collect analytics on them. There's link pages like I mentioned earlier where you can have and then there's link pages where you can have all your links on one page. Like we have our links page at isnowglobal.com/links. And if you ever like want to get any of our like special things, go to isnowglobal.com/capital L links. And that's like another way where you can do link pages. You can do links.isnowglobal.com, which I should probably do that at some point in the future. And then there's also professional branded email based on your host. We provide that along with other things. And then there's the pretty branded affiliate links. If you're doing affiliate marketing, it might behoove you to give your affiliates a better way of being able to it gives your affiliate a better way to be able to kind of sell your product for you, where it's like, hey guys, this, I'm not just selling this random person's thing with this link. They went out and gave me a personal link. Like for example, like Quan's great, and I love Quan. And Quan could, anybody who does affiliate with Quan would probably give like quan.yourdomain.com. That would like be much better than just giving them a random domain for them to tweet out. Because more people will click on things when they see the person's name in the domain versus just clicking on a random link. So keep that in mind when you're doing that. If you need help with any of that stuff that I just mentioned, we like our consulting. You can go to isnowglobal.com/capital L links, and we can schedule consulting a consult, and we'll be able to get you all set up there. Like I said, so how to use them one way. So let's say you have like 10 different things and you kind of want to separate them. One way to use domains is you can buy a domain for your mailing list. You can buy a domain for your social media. You can keep your domain separate that you're going to be selling, and you can have a domain just for emails. That's one way to do it. Like you can go and depending on what kind of domain you bought or what kind of TLD, which is the .com or .edu, this that, depending on what you use that for, that can cost you anywhere from $12 a year for one domain, all the way up to like $60 a year for one domain, and then you multiply it by 4, you're looking at anywhere between 12 and $160 a year on just domains that you may or may not be using. So keep that in mind if you're going to be buying a bunch of domains, that those domain costs do add up, and they can indeed like affect your SEO, because again, versus you could have all of your apps be out there, but they don't have the similar domain, so no one can find them because there's a different domain for every single one, versus knowing that all your things are one domain and they're all going to one place. So I'll explain that again. So another way you can use this is subdomains, right? So one way to save, like, either save money or save time or save like your audience the ability to keep going back and forth, is to use subdomains. Right? Subdomains here are, what are subdomains? Subdomains are another way for you to use domains. Instead of buying multiple domains for each vertical, use a subdomain. Like, they're a very underrated feature of domains. You literally inherently have them as you buy a domain. Like, once you buy a domain, you have an unlimited number of domains. People don't know this. It's kind of a unspoken thing because it can get a little rough, but you can deliberately have unlimited subdomains. So if you're looking like, I need a new domain for this, I need a new domain for that, you don't. What you really need is to make a subdomain and point that subdomain at whatever you're trying to do. Because again, subdomains are great because, one, they're SEO friendly. They're absolutely SEO friendly. They're easy. They're more in line with your brand, and they're easier for you to be able to communicate with people. And three, realistically, it's easier. You don't have to keep track of 10 different domains and 10 different domain selling accounts and Google domain and Namecheap, and you can have one domain, and then depending on who your host is, we offer this, but you will have the ability to add and remove domains as you please. So always remember that. That's always another great way to go about that. So let's keep going here. And again, just to reiterate, like, domains, you can get a limited number of domains. They function the exact same as a regular domain. Like, there's literally no difference between a subdomain and a regular domain, other than like it's a subdomain. It's literally a semantic difference. But in this case, all subdomains are literally they literally function the same as all regular domains, but they're free. You don't have to go buy 10 of them to do 10 different things. You just got to buy one domain and have 10 subdomains. And so I'll show you a little bit of how subdomains can work and how you can kind of use them to your advantage. So remember in our previous slide, we had one that said remember our previous slide where we had each one go to each domain? Now we have one domain and we created 4 subdomains. And as you can see now, our cost is $12 to $64 max versus being $12 to being like, sorry, $400 max. I'm not good at math. Don't do my math. Don't do math. I'm a sub web developer. But realistically, you're saving a lot of money by just having subdomains. Like in this case, as you can see on the screen, like we have a sub 1 domain that goes to MailChimp. We have a sub 2 domain that goes to our social media, a sub 3 domain where we're gonna be selling our domains, and a sub 4 where we do our emails. And you're just able to do that, right? It's like it's just an easier way for you to keep track of everything versus having to keep track of 4 domains, 4 analytics. And I will let you know that some of these third-party people, they charge per domain. They don't charge per subdomain. Little caveat there. I'm not gonna say any more. I'm not gonna blow up the spot, but a lot of these third parties charge for single domains, but they do not charge for subdomains. So keep that in mind. So yeah, like I said, you have a subdomain. One's gonna go to MailChimp, one's gonna go to your social media, one's gonna go to your wherever you sell your domains, and the fourth is gonna go to your email. And it's still one domain. SEO is still great. Google will know exactly who this is from and where this is, and will be able to link it semantically to different other parts of the internet. Because again, you want to make Google and Bing and everybody else's job just a little easier, so your content is much easier to propagate. So that's just another way of using subdomains. It's just like, they're important. They're free. If you already have a domain, and they're powerful because they function just like a regular domain. Um, but they're just, they're subdomains. Like and the thing is, I'll mention this to you, to everybody here on the stream. Um, when it comes to domains, realistically, no one really cares if your domain ends in .io or .game or .gg or .tv or .lol. I think that might be a TLD now. If it's not, that should be a thing. But it's just like no one really cares what your domain ends in. They just care that it's your domain. Like it doesn't matter what you have on the site. Again, people more are gravitating towards you for the domain versus anything else. And that's why I think subdomains are important. So again, subdomains are very, very important. And as you can see on the screen, it's just like plain as day. You can either have 4 domains or 4 subdomains. And I'm gonna stop harping on this. Let's go to the next slide here. So SEO, and let's not get into SEO and how it's important to domains, right? So having one domain can be very powerful and it's just less stressful. And like I just mentioned, having one domain is a lot more powerful and less stressful than owning a bunch of domains. The only time you should be owning different domains is when you have different entities. Like you have a website, you have a book, you have a video site. Like you can have different domains for each of these different things. But realistically, if your brand, if this part of your application is still part of your main brand, it should be a subdomain. So here you go. So how to know if you need a subdomain? If it's a part of your main brand, use a subdomain. If it's another vertical, you can use a subdomain, or you can go as far as to using a new domain. I would even say with new verticals, still use a subdomain. Nothing's stopping you. And the good thing, and if you're mostly using your content through Twitter, know that Twitter does not actually care what your domain is. It's like they don't actually show the domain when people go to the link. They just show that the actual content is there. So that's one thing. And based on our analytics and the analytics we've been tracking for the last year, 80% of traffic on the internet is now going to mobile. And most mobile sites don't actually see the domain. Like it's easy for them to type it in, but when they're on Twitter going to a site from Twitter, they're not going to see that you have like this dot this dot this dot this dot. They're just going to see your content, and that's why subdomains are kind of cool, because you're still getting the data to the regular domain. You're still keeping branding right, but you're able to expand your verticals exponentially. So that's why. And then with SEO, it's an ongoing game. You can't slack off with SEO. Your ranking will drop. I've seen it happen. I won't look at the domain for 2 days and come back and I'm like from number 1 to number 3, and it's really just about making sure that you don't leave any piece of SEO crumbs on the table or like on the floor, or bad analogy, but you get what I'm trying to say. It's basically like if you have your website, if all of your images on your website have alternative text, if they all have titles, if they all have if you have a pixel in there, if you have all the different things you need for SEO, you'll see all those little micro actions transform your website into like a number 1 ranking website on Google or on Bing or on Yahoo. And it's really just about taking care of your domain and really cultivating your domain and making sure that you plant them, you farm them, and you harvest from them. You don't go plant 10 different things and have to go watch like, oh, my domain that's in this other field is like dying because I haven't watered it in like a week or 2. I hope you guys are liking these farm analogies. I don't really have very many other ones either. But that's SEO. It's realistically you want to make sure that if you have a bunch of domains that you're ready and willing to manage and manicure each and every one of those domains. It's very important that you realize that, because you can have a great domain and it can lose SEO ranking, and then you'll have to do the uphill battle of making sure the SEO is correct versus just doing it right the first time. And some best practices for SEO, like 2 of them are: make sure all of your images are secure. You're using HTTPS for all your images, so your website is not insecure. If your website is unsecure, Google will not rank you very well. It's just a thing. Google does not like ranking sites that are unsecure. Google likes to have that lock next to your name before they like start searching your site. So make sure your domain is secure. Make sure you have SSL. I have a live stream on that. I'll be making sure that I send that as an email to everybody who joins our live stream email. Make sure your images have text. Make sure your images have descriptions. Make sure your website's secure. Make sure you're not linking any links that have non-secure links, which means you should not have any HTTP anywhere on your site. It should be HTTPS or no website at all. It's 2020, y'all. Please, no unsecure websites. It's not a thing that should be happening anymore. So let's move on. So domains, other ways to use them, sell them. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're trying to sell domains, try to figure out popular names and try to sell them a profit. That's really it. There's not much else to domain selling. It's you know, I only know as much as I've read in like different articles, but when it comes to selling domains, I like the guy. So here's an example. The guy yesterday, who 10 years ago bought the Washington Redskins domain. Like he bought Washington, or he bought what Washington turned their name into now. Like he bought Washington football team in 2010, just held on to it, forgot he had it. They came up to him when they changed the name 2 days ago and said, "Hey, we are not a Washington football team. We want the website, but it's gone. We know you own it." And they're like, "Hey, we'll give you 10 grand for it." I don't know how it happened. I don't know if they offered him 10 grand or if he asked for 10 grand. You should not be asking for 10 grand from a $1 billion organization. If you're doing business with $1 billion organization and you have something they want, you have leverage. You should probably use that. Like realistically, if it comes down to you, like if they say, "Hey, what do you want to charge?" No less than 6 figures, because for them, that 6 figures is just a marketing cost. For you, that 6 figures is like life changing. So don't sell yourself short when you're selling domains. And if you really want to know more about this, you can see on the screen at ESD Visual on Twitter. Great guy. His name is Reggie. Knows a lot about domains. I mean, again, I know a lot, but he knows a lot about how to sell domains. He kind of is always in that field, and so he has a book on domaining for common starter domains. I don't necessarily have a link to his book right now, but I'll put the link. It's gonna be an affiliate link, so you gotta support. I'll put that affiliate link in our isnonglobal.com/capital links at the end of this video here. So let's keep going forward here. So that's just like how to use, that's other ways to use domains. There's another way to do it. So where can you buy domains? Like great places. Namecheap, Google Domains, name.com. Namecheap is what we when I first started in like a decade ago, almost a decade ago. Namecheap was one of the higher people, one of the newer people. They're more established now, but they were doing some like crazy new things. I'm like, "Hey, we're giving you this, this, and this for your domain," like, and I took advantage of it. Now. So I use Namecheap for a few of our domains. I use Google Domains for a few of our domains. I have not used name.com. They're not on here, but the growthopedia.com is a black-owned domain selling business, and I'm all about supporting black-owned businesses. So if y'all ever looking for domains, again, check out Namecheap, Google Domains, name.com, or Growthopedia. Those are all great places for you to buy domains. If you need somewhere to host domains, let's get into that. You can host domains on IsNowGlobal. We're a hosting company. You're watching this right now. I'm running this specific live stream off of one of our servers with one of our domains. And so it's like really cool for you to be able to kind of it's really good for you to be able to essentially be able to host your website anywhere you need to, and you can go to Google Cloud, AWS, Azure. You'll be managing those on your own. If you come to IsNowGlobal Web Hosting, we are a full service web design, web development, and web hosting. And again, I'm not gonna play the ad again, but we'll play the ad. Maybe we'll play the ad at the end of the thing. But again, if you need somewhere to host your website, come over to IsNowGlobal. We're always looking to help new creators, new entrepreneurs, new brands, scale up and really take advantage of what they have out there. So let me see here. Let me go ahead and just show y'all a quick let me see here real quick. So let me look at, where's the intro? There we go. And so so let's go ahead and transition. So and again, just to give you an example of more things to host. So if you're looking for hosting and you want to know more about IsNowGlobal, let's just give you a little quick synopsis here. Let me go ahead and transition real quick here. We're web design. We do we do web development, we do web hosting. And we build your vision today. And it's 1 second here. Let me click that. You're looking for where to find great web design. Come over to IsNowGlobal. We're here to help you. You build your vision today. We start with a meeting to understand your vision. We build a plan to execute your vision. We work on executing your vision. And we launch your vision. That's how we do it over here at IsNowGlobal. We're very, very very, very to the point of what we do here. So let me get back to what we were doing here. Let me go and transition back to where we were before. So yeah. So that's what we do. So if you're looking for a web hosting provider, let us know. We're here to help you host. Let me see here. Next slide here. And then so realistically, if you're looking for a place to host, IsNowGlobal Web Hosting is a great place to host. We have a lot of amazing things coming out. Our clients have ability to do whatever they need to when it comes to hosting and development. We do charge a premium, but it's a premium that's worth it because we ensure everything works from the ground up. You're secure from the start to the end. And again, I just want to say, and that's really it for today. I wasn't gonna do too much coding, but I'm gonna break down some more stuff next week. I think next week I already have a live stream on how to secure your website and how to create a landing page. But I think next week I'm gonna show off. I don't know what I'm gonna do next week. We'll figure it out as we go along the end of the week. If you have an idea for something you want me to cover, go ahead and DM me, or DM me, message me, ping me, anything. Let me know what you would like me to cover. When it comes to web hosting, web design, anything. Like, let me know. I'm here to help you guys. I'm here for y'all. And I'm here to help you guys, whatever you need. Let me go ahead to the next page here. And so thank you for that's all we have for today, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. If you're on Twitch or Twitter, typing things, I don't have anything open. I only have the screen so I can focus on everything. But if you're on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, click that bell notification, click all, and then we'll be here. That way you'll always know when we go live. You always know when we have videos coming. And then also, if you're on Twitch, follow us, subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, go ahead. If you have Amazon Prime and you want to support us and what we do here, head over to twitch.tv/isnowglobal and then sign in with your Amazon Prime account, and then you get a free subscribe to give away. So you can literally just go and give a paid subscription to my channel. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just a way for you to show support. I don't try to charge or anything, but that might change in the future. But if you need anything else, if you're on Twitter, follow me, reach out. Again, my Twitter's on the screen here, isnnowglobal.com, isnowglobal_Chuck. And if you need to see any of our designs, if you're interested in joining us as a client, head over to isnowglobal.com/onboarding or isnowglobal.com and just check out what we have. And I want to, before I head out here, I want to make sure I give each and every one of you a huge round of applause for being here and caring about your domain and caring about the web and wanting to learn more. So without further ado, so yeah, thank you so much. Funny enough, I think at this point I'm just kind of this part of I'm probably gonna end the stream here. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and wait an extra 10 minutes here. So I'm just gonna play the outro song while we're waiting here, and then I'll close the stream when I think we've caught up. I think with my computer not being able to handle the stream, I think we're a little behind on where we were. So I will go ahead and play the outro here. But thank you all for coming. I truly appreciate it. I'm gonna give you another round of applause if I play the outro. So this has been Understanding Web with IsNowGlobal. I'm gonna try to do this weekly if I can. Please just don't forgive me if I don't. Things come up. But I will always try to give whatever my best information I can to everybody. So thank you all for coming, and I'm gonna leave you with the outro. And yeah, I'll leave you the outro. And I'll catch you guys later. So should be loading up now.